Hey guys, Rick here from Stony Acres Gardening. How would you like to have a continuous harvest of crops all through the winter in your garden, no matter really where you live? Well, the way you make that happen is to choose the right crops, plant them at the right time, and then protect them over the winter. And today we are going to talk about our three top crops for growing in the fall and the winter months in your garden. So we're going to go through and talk about our three favorite crops for growing during the cold seasons of the year. So let's get started on the list. Our by far favorite crop to grow for the winter months is carrots, and there's one main reason for that. They become a completely different vegetable over the winter months. What happens is the cold weather and the freezing ground turn the starches in our carrots into sugars, and it turns into this just really sweet, delicious treat. And I'm not over exaggerating. It really becomes sweet. We call them candy carrots. I have family members who travel to taste my carrots in the wintertime. It's a lot of fun to grow them. They do really well in almost every climate, and so they are a perfect crop for you. So I'm sitting here in front of this bed because this is going to be my carrot bed this year. So filming this video on July 23rd, we have about a week and a half until I'm going to be actually planting here in my Zone 6B Utah garden. And we want to choose, when we're choosing carrots, we want to choose shorter varieties for the fall. We don't want to get those big old long 12-inch carrots. I know people are really proud of those and think they're pretty cool. But for fall and winter harvest, we need to choose smaller varieties because those varieties mature and size up quicker. And we end up running out of day length in the fall in order for those to grow. So we need to choose those smaller varieties. So here we're going to be looking for varieties that grow between 4 to 8 inches long. The ones that I like the best are Napoli, Scarlet Nantes, and then by far our favorite is Little Fingers. Those are going to do really well. They don't have the pressure to grow long and to mature, and so they're going to size up and do what they need to do in the time that we have allotted in the wintertime. You want to be planting these about 6 to 8 weeks before your first frost date. They need that time. Now, that means we're planting them when it's usually pretty hot in most of our areas. So for us, I'll be planting these somewhere between August 1st and August 7th. That is a hot time of the year for us. So it really means that you have to baby these carrots to get them to germinate. I am usually watering at least once a day. So you're going to come out and water this bed and keep the top layer really moist. Another good hint would be to use some burlap. I actually did a whole video on using burlap to get carrots to germinate. You can click on that link up there to check it out. But the idea is for that first 2, 3, even 4 weeks, we're really going to be babying these carrots along to get them germinated and get them started so that they mature up before we run out of day length later in the season. For easiest harvest, I recommend that you either end up covering your carrot bed with a hoop house or a cold frame. The reason why I like that is because that's going to help keep the ground from freezing really solid over the wintertime. Makes it easier for them to harvest. But you don't absolutely have to do that. If you can get your carrots to maturity before the cold weather settles in, you could actually just cover the bed with some straw, some other kind of mulch, a heavy fabric row cover, and then just come out and pry those carrots out of the ground over the wintertime. And again, these are going to be the sweetest, most delicious carrots that you've ever eaten. That's why we love carrots as a winter crop. And the other nice thing is in a cold frame or a hoop house, you're going to be able to harvest those all the way through the winter until they run out. Some years we've had them all the way up until about the 1st of March. So it's a really great crop for overwintering in the garden. Second on our list of top crops for fall and early winter in this case is lettuce. So everybody loves lettuce. Lettuce is a great crop. I'm sitting here in front of some of our summer crisp lettuces right now, but they can be a great fall and early winter crop as well. Now lettuce is not as hardy as some of the winter crops that you can grow. You'll end up probably having lettuce lasting in most areas until early December. For us, we can usually have it until about Christmas time. The way you want to deal with lettuce in the fall and winter is you want to start planting some succession plantings. You want to succession plant about every 2 weeks for maybe 2 or 3 succession plantings. And you start those plantings 8 weeks before your first frost date. So for me, our first frost is about October 1st. We're going to start succession planting lettuce about August 1st. That is going to give us kind of this constant flow throughout the fall and into the winter months. Now, what if you don't have space in your garden right now to actually be planting that much lettuce out? Then you do your succession planting indoors instead. So you can start your lettuce plants indoors and succession plant again about every 2 weeks for 2 or 3 times. And that is going to give you a constant flow of different sized lettuces that you can start to put out into your garden as the weather cools off and as you start to have space in your garden. Again, because lettuce is not quite as hardy as some of the other crops, you are going to want to start protecting it fairly early. So as soon as your nighttime temperatures start to drop below about 30 degrees Fahrenheit, which is roughly 1.5 to 2 degrees Celsius, you want to actually start adding protection to that crop. It can handle a little bit of frost, but once we start seeing 30s at night, we want to either put up a cold frame or a hoop house to protect that lettuce over the winter. And then as the temperatures really start to get cold, throw a heavy fabric grow cover in there as well, and that's going to keep that lettuce growing probably until about Christmas time, which is awesome, and we love that as a really great supply of early winter greens. Number 3 on our list is Tatsoi, and I'm sitting here in front of this bed because this, right now it's beans. We will be planting this later to a lot of different greens, including Tatsoi, which is an Asian green. So Tatsoi is a really fun one. It's related a little bit to bok choy. It has a similar taste, kind of that mild cabbagey taste like most Asian greens do. But Tatsoi grows a little bit differently. So instead of it growing kind of in a head like a bok choy does with those really heavy, thick stems, Tatsoi instead grows in a more open kind of rosette form. It looks more like a spinach, has slightly smaller leaves that you can pick off and eat. And the beautiful thing about Tatsoi is it is super, super hardy. I mean, this is one of the crops that even those of you in zones 3 and 4 could probably play with over the winter time, as long as you had them tucked into a cold frame, covered up with some fabric grow cover. This is a very hardy crop that is going to last a long time through the winter. We actually usually grow 4 or 5 plants of this every winter to go along with a lot of the other crops that we grow. And again, it's just bulletproof hardy and does really well over the winter time. Now, one warning I will give you, because it's an Asian green, it likes to bolt. And so this is one that you want to prioritize, and you want to have it eaten up by probably about the first part of February, before the 10-hour days arrive, because as soon as the temperatures start to warm up a little bit and those days get a little bit longer, it's going to want to bolt and go to seed. So, you know, prioritize that one as one that you're going to be eating in December, January, and early February to get that one eaten up. All right, so those are our top 3 crops to grow for winter and fall harvest: carrots, lettuce, and Tatsoi. We love all of them, and we grow them every year. They do really well here in our Zone 6B garden, but I know that they're going to do well for pretty much everybody. They're all good hardy crops, and you should be able to use those to extend your growing season well into the early winter months, and for a lot of us, all the way through the winter. So great crops. Would you like to learn more about season extension and about how to grow 365 days a year? Well, I have a really fun workshop that we have scheduled for July 31st, 2025 at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. This is free, 100% free. And in it, we're going to talk about those 3 secrets that I told you. We're going to talk about which plants we should be growing, when we should be planting them, and how we should be protecting them over the winter. I've got about a 45-minute presentation for you. Then we're going to do some Q&As. I've got some prizes to give away. So it's going to be a really fun workshop. There's a link down in the description below that you can click on to get signed up for it. It is a private event, so you do need to be registered in order to get the link. And if you happen to be watching this video after July 31st, 2025, don't worry. We're going to have a replay available for you. So you can still click the link and register, and it will take you to the replay so that you can watch that video. And again, it's going to be about 45 minutes worth of teaching and then a Q&A session after that. So it's a great opportunity for you to learn more about season extension 100% for free. So get signed up by clicking on the link down below. All right, that's all I have for you for today. Everybody have a fantastic week. Happy gardening.